Stick around after the ninth inning. Kids get to run the bases after every single game.
Live from Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan, welcome to the United Shore Professional Baseball League. Tonight, it is the Eastside Diamond Hoppers taking on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. And a great promotion here tonight. It is Quick Change at the ballpark today, a group that has been featured before on America's Got Talent. I would describe it as a very unique magic show that's going to be here at the ballpark today. I'm not going to give away any detail. I've seen them before at some ballparks in the past. They do a terrific job, and it is a very unique spectacle. And I encourage you to tune in tonight here on the video stream. And also, if you're in the neighborhood, stop on by here in Utica for some United Shore Professional Baseball League action. Eastside is 9-9, second place currently in the United Shore Professional Baseball League. Their opponent, Birmingham Bloomfield, leads the circuit at 12-6. Utica has the inverted record at 6-12. They are idle today as we take a look at the standings here in the United Shore Professional Baseball League. With Kevin Klein, I'm Brad Golder, and Kevin, you look at it, Birmingham Bloomfield has been the premier team so far in the USPBL at 12-6, and you look at it, a extremely potent offensive attack that they bring into each and every game. I was looking at it, they hardly steal a base. They've been thrown out more than they have been successful stealing bases, but it doesn't matter. They hit the ball a long way. Their batters get on base, and it is a group for this Birmingham Bloomfield squad that can really mash the baseball.
Yeah, 5 starters are over 300, and if you put Alex Bell in there, he's hitting over 500 in his 9th game today. It's just been a full team effort in terms of home runs, doubles, people getting hot at the same time. You look at a guy like Miles Williams, his average is at 297. A week ago, it was at 200, and he adds power with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs, which is 3rd on the team. It has been a complete team effort, and it's been great to watch this offense come together.
Yeah, you look at it, the top 4 in their lineup, Dave Pepe, Dan Kinnan, Nick Wilson, and Alex Bell. We'll go into some of the specifics on what their numbers are, but those 4 really set the tone for this Beavers lineup as far as what they have done with that top of the order, and it makes it pretty intimidating for any pitcher in the United Shore Professional Baseball League. Meanwhile, Eastside, they were the hot team early in the year. It cooled a little bit down to 9-9 on the season. And it's maybe a little bit of a tired Diamond Hoppers team that comes in. We've talked a little bit about the way that the league is scheduled. You don't play typically on Mondays and Tuesdays, but the Diamond Hoppers are on a 4-game stretch where they've played every day. And while maybe a big league team can handle 4 straight games, the way the rosters are designed in the USPBL, it's smaller pitching rosters than you typically see in the big leagues. So maybe a little bit depleted pitching staff right now in the 4th game in the row for Paul Noce.
Yeah, and especially because Chris McDonald was the ace of the staff, and he is now gone. He has been signed by the Pirates organization. So Paul Noce has been searching for not only a number 3 starter, but a number 2 starter as well behind Connor Root. We've seen Dan Myers get some starts. Jalen Miller has had a few opportunities. Tonight, actually, it's going to be Darren Lauer getting the start. He is primarily the closer. He has all 3 saves for the Diamond Hoppers this year, but that's just the state of Paul Noce's pitching staff right now.
Yeah, pitching staff by committee, I would say, for today's game for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. As we get into our pitching matchup, you mentioned Darren Lauer gets his first start of the year for the Diamond Hoppers in his 10th overall appearance, and you can't expect him to go very deep in this game. 10 2/3 innings in 9 appearances this year, so he's at about an inning per appearance on the season, so you can't expect him to really stretch it out beyond 3 innings.
Well, we were talking to Paul Noce before the game, and he said he just is looking for a guy to have a couple shutdown innings. Not expecting Lauer to go 5-6 innings like a typical starter, just 2 or 3 and hand it off to another guy in the bullpen. And we've talked about it the last few weeks. The bullpen for the Diamond Hoppers has been a strength, so Paul Noce's not afraid to hand it off to a guy like Matt Rogers or Tatum Hendricks or Drew Bravo, who can give you extended innings as well out of the pen.
Yeah, so it's going to be a game in which you will see some pitching changes for sure for Eastside. For the Birmingham Bloomfield Barons, they're going with one of their aces, Forrest Kumis, 3-0 on the year with a 1.80 earned run average. Guy that's both started and relieved. This will be his 4th start and his 7th overall appearance for the Beavers.
Yeah, Forrest Kumis is one of the 3 really good starters for the Beavers. Kumis, Nick Jensen-Clagg, and Alex Kinch being the 3rd. It's Kumis' turn in the rotation. What makes him so good is that his batting average against is just 194. When he keeps the ball in the zone, he is extremely hard to make contact on, and he really keeps the ball low in the zone and doesn't allow the big fly.
So that's your pitching matchup. Forrest Kumis getting the start today for the Beavers, and on the mound for the Diamond Hoppers, it is Darren Lauer in what amounts basically to a bullpen start for them. Starting lineups being exchanged at home plate as we speak right now. The managers, Paul Nochi for the Diamond Hoppers and Chris Newell for the Beavers, out there exchanging lineups with the umpires. I noted before the game the umpires first met with the ground crew. And anytime you see the ground crew on the field, oftentimes that has to do with the weather. And as we look out here, it's been an overcast day, although it cleared out at about noon, 1 o'clock today. And we had a fairly warm and clear afternoon and into the early evening. As we look here in Utica, there is some cloud coverage overhead, and managers at any level of professional baseball oftentimes leery of that, knowing that they don't want to throw a starter just an inning or 2 innings and have to burn that starter. So I know everybody is watching the weather right now as we speak, and as I look at the weather on the radar, there is no sign of clouds, and throughout the day at each hour interval on weather.com for 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it lists no more than a 15% chance of rain. So if there is any rain, there's a very slim chance of it, and if there is, there's most likely it's going to be very light rain here today, although the cloud coverage is pretty menacing as you look at it.
Well, we saw yesterday a 53-minute rain delay, and that was came in the bottom of the 1st inning. Jared Gaynor had gone an inning, and then on the other side, Jacob Bazell went an inning, but they both came back after the rain delay. But you're absolutely right, Brad. It's always something to keep in the back of your mind if you're a manager, because you want to conserve your arms and not only conserve the arm for that day, but keep it healthy for the remainder of what is a pretty long season.
Most importantly, out there exchanging lineups, Ribby, the Diamond Hoppers mascot, and the mascot for the Beavers, Buzz. They're both out there exchanging lineup cards. I'm sure that there's a lot of intellectual conversation going on there between those two characters at home plate.
I mean, there's only so much a frog and a beaver can talk about. I'm not sure what's going on down there in the coaches meeting, but I'm sure it's just a conversation I would love to be a part of, just to witness from as a fly on the wall.
You better be careful if you're a fly near that frog.
No pun intended on that one.
You know, and I mentioned hour by hour, very little chance of rain. I'm looking now on a radar as well, and there's no sign of any sort of colorization on the radar anywhere near Utica. So seems very unlikely that there will be any sort of rain coming through here in this area. Again, as it is cloudy, they may have to turn on the lights as we get started, but I think everything should be okay. Of course, I never did receive a meteorology degree, but it should be safe for today's game. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers are matchup. The starting lineups being announced here at Jimmy John's Field. And we will give you the starting lineups as well for you at home. And we will begin with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Leading off, it will be Luke Ortel in left field, Ryan Willard at third base today, Alex Delgado not in the lineup, batting second. Batting third, Corey Caswell, the catcher. Tyler Booth, recently put in the cleanup spot, is in right field, Dalton DiNatale. DHing again, batting fifth, Joe Fiorino. In center field, batting sixth, Jamie McMillan at first base, batting seventh. Cam Stewart moves up a spot in the order from his usual 9-hole, and he is again playing second base. And Ricky Castro is at shortstop, as we mentioned. Alex Delgado not in the lineup, 2 for his last 23, so Paul Nochi giving him a mental health day of rest.
So that's the starting lineup for manager Paul Nochi and the 9-9 Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers getting set to take the field momentarily. Defensively, they align with Phyllis in left, Williams in Pepe in center, and Williams in right field. Worth will play third, Martinez the shortstop, Kennan at second base, Wilson at first, and Devish will do the catching here today. It's going to be interesting to see Devish, who had gotten caught. He was recently added to the Diamond Hoppers roster and was kind of caught in a depth chart issue with them because with the Diamond Hoppers, their catcher Corey Caswell has been playing so well. Hard to get him out of the lineup. But you look at Devish, he's one of the most accomplished hitters in the history of the Big Ten. You look at the season he had this year, 2016, with Rutgers, led the Big Ten in batting average and on-base percentage, with an on-base percentage that was 6th nationally. He's in the 9 spot, which tells you just how gluttonous that Beavers lineup is, that a guy with the resume of R.J. Devish is in the 9 spot. But you got to believe that he's got a great chance at having a standout season as this winds down for the Beavers with what he was able to accomplish in the Big Ten.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the pleasure of covering him when he came to Ann Arbor, Michigan to play the Wolverines, and he is one heck of a player. Didn't really get a lot of opportunities, like you said, Brad, with the Diamond Hoppers just because of Caswell and also the backup catcher, Chris Power, who has been swinging a hot stick. But Devish is a guy who, at the bottom of the order, can get on base and provide a little bit of pop as well and be that second leadoff man with Dave Pepe.
What is also unbelievable with his season this year in the Big Ten is that R.J. Devish for the Beavers led the league in batting average and was 6th nationally in on-base percentage, and he was all Big Ten catcher second team. That, I guess, tells you how good that Austin Athman was for Minnesota, but you lead the league in batting average and on-base percentage at the catcher position. You'd think you'd be the Big Ten first team representative at that position, but he was not.
Yeah, I mean,
just the way it is.
The Big Ten's a tough conference, though.
Yeah.
It's no slouch in baseball, especially the last couple of years, but happy to see R.J. Devish get some opportunities here to be behind the dish.
Time now to rise and honor America as we honor America with the national anthem. Today it is Nicole Flugie with our national anthem.
Tonight being performed by Nicole Flugie.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's go for one. Let's give her a big hand.
Beautiful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner by Nicole Flugie here at Jimmy John's Field. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in their home white pinstripe uniforms, blue caps, red bills, and the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers in their road traditional gray uniforms, gray tops, gray bottoms, with black caps and green bills. On the mound Tonight for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, right-hander Forrest Kumis, who has been one of the top pitchers in the circuit so far this year. The only real knock on him this year is he's got good numbers. 20 innings pitched. The one knocks the walks a little bit high for Kumis. He has walked 11 in 20 innings of work. 17 strikeouts is pretty good for 20 innings of work. Opponent's only hitting 194 against Kumis this season and a 1.80 ERA. He has pitched in 6 games and has been the winning pitcher in 3 of those. So some good work so far this year from Forrest Kumis. In case you missed it, there have already been 4 players from the USPBL signed to affiliated contracts, and 3 of them have been pitchers. And the most recent was a pair of signings by the Pittsburgh Pirates. They signed 2 of the top pitchers in the USPBL, Evan Pacoda and Chris McDonald. It's one of those good news, bad news things for the league. It's mostly good news. The bad news, though, is that for the league and for the individual team that loses a player, you lose one of your best players because he was deemed worthy enough of playing in affiliated baseball. That's the bad news, and teams have to make adjustments when they lose some of those top players to affiliated baseball. But Aaron Bossi, a left-handed pitcher, or an infielder rather, went to the Yankees, and Ross Vance, a left-handed pitcher, went to the Cardinals earlier this year as well. First pitch of the ball game, Luke Ortel takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And we are underway at 7:27. A very temperate 75 degrees at game time. Second pitch of the game is fouled back hard off the netting behind the plate. That was a big swing by Ortel. It's 1-1.
Yeah, one thing I really like about Forrest Kumis, and the same can be said about his teammate Nick Jensen-Clegg, is they work extremely quick on the mound. They really just get the ball back from the catcher and is ready to throw the next pitch.
And it's outside for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. That was one of the things that the scouts really liked about Evan Pacoda, who was signed by the Pirates, was how good a rhythm he got into on the mound working quickly. 2-1 offering to Ortel, lined hard to third, but squeezed with 2 hands by Worth. Ortel hit it hard, but into an out. And there's 1 gone to begin the contest. As I anticipated, the lights are turned on at the start. Normally, we get about 4 or 5 innings of artificial light-free baseball. But with the cloud coverage overhead, the umpires deciding to go with the lights right away at first pitch. Ryan Willard, the batter, he takes an inside corner, strike 1.
Willard has been red hot in his last 4 games, hitting .529 with 3 RBIs and 2 doubles. Really solidified himself in the 2-hole in the Diamond Hoppers lineup.
He lines this one over the head of Martinez into left center field for at least a single. Pepe cuts it off and holds Willard at first for another base hit. That's going to get his average up right around 400. He was 381 coming in. And he hit that ball hard into the left center field gap. 1 down. Runner at first, and it'll bring up the catcher, Corey Caswell, who's having a terrific year for Eastside. .333, a homer and 12 driven in. 6 of his hits have been doubles. Willard leads at first, held on by Wilson, and a fastball just misses the outside edge. Devish gave it a little bit of an extra frame job, but didn't get the call. Next offering is lined foul back behind the plate. And it evens it up at 1-1.
We talked about it in the open that the Beavers do not steal a lot of bases, but the Diamond Hoppers do.
Yeah.
28 of them on the year. 2 of them coming from Willard.
Yeah, good percentage, too. They've only been caught 8 times. 1-1 to the catcher, Caswell. Did he go? Yes, he did, and it's 1-2.
Very different offensive styles, but the top 2 teams in the USPBL.
So 1-2 the count with one away. Let's see if Willard's running here with one out. Paul Nochi coaching third. Gave the signs, the pitch home, bouncing ball towards shortstop. High hop for Martinez. Feeds Kinnan for one, on to first, and it's a double play. Paul Nochi wishes he was sending the runners on that one. Might have been able to avoid the 6-4-3. Half an inning in the books. Eastside Diamond Hoppers nothing. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers coming to bat at 12-6 and led by manager Chris Newell. And here's how Chris Newell will align the boys for this one.
Dave Pepe leading off in center field. We just mentioned Dan Kennan at second base, batting second. Nick Wilson at first base, batting third. Alex Bell DHing today and in the cleanup spot. Miles Williams, the right fielder. Kevin Worth, who has been red hot as of late at the hot corner, batting sixth. Batting seventh, Eric Phillips in left field. Eighth is DJ Martinez at shortstop, and number 9 is RJ Devish at the catcher position.
They will face right-hander Darren Lauer, the closer for Eastside, getting a rare start in his 10th appearance. First start, 2 wins, no losses, 3 saves, and an 0.84 ERA. Just 1 earned run allowed in 10 2/3 innings with just 4 walks and 14 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just 205 against him. Ortel in left, Fiorino in center, Booth in right for the Diamond Hoppers. Willard at third, Castro the shortstop. Stewart plays second with McMillan at first, and Caswell doing the catching. The lineup Lauer will face is the most potent offensive lineup in the circuit. 294 batting average with a by far league best 19 home runs. And you look at the numbers for the top 4 in the lineup. They go Pepe, Kinnan, Wilson, and Bell. And the top 4 in the lineup for the Beavers combined with a 385 batting average. They are slugging .573 as a unit with a .466 on base percentage. They're close to getting on base half the time, .466 on base percentage. That's a 1039 OPS. That's the on-base percentage and the slugging percentage. When you start talking about 4-digit OPSs, those baseball history start getting into the Barry Bonds kind of ridiculous numbers. And those 4 combined for those numbers. It starts with Pepe, 362 batting average with a 436 on base percentage. Ideal for a leadoff man, and the first one's high. Second one ripped hard, foul, first baseline, 1-1.
And that's including Alex Bell, who has really fought his way and clawed his way into the lineup, because every time he's getting opportunities, he's going 3 for 5 or 2 for 5. He had a 7 RBI game just a few days ago.
And Pepe slugs that ball deep right field. Back goes Booth. He looks up, and it is gone. First USPBL home run for Dave Pepe. Line drive shot to right field makes it 1-0.
That's one of the things we did not talk about in the broadcast so far, is because Pepe is not known for his power, but what a nice swing, especially given the fact that there's no wind at the park today, so that was just pure power from the leadoff man.
So Pepe goes big fly for the first time. Those big hits are normally reserved in this lineup for Nick Wilson, but Pepe hits his first, and now Dan Kennan looks at strike one. He's at 329 with a homer, 10 RBIs. Number that really jumps out at him, 415 on base percentage, in addition to a high batting average, and both of those going up with a line drive back up the box, base hit for Dan Kennan. Talked about it in the onset. This first 4, Pepe, Kinnan, Wilson, and Bell, is a nightmare for opposing starting pitching. And so far, Pepe and Kinnan have gone homer single, and now it's the league leader in homers, Nick Wilson, at 381 with 8 homers and 19 driven in for the big man.
And keep in mind, this is the Diamond Hoppers closer that Pepe and Kennan have gotten leadoff back-to-back hits off of. This is not just a spot starter or a random guy in the bullpen.
Slug to left field, a deep drive, and it's gone for Wilson. That didn't get very high off the ground. A bullet line drive for the big man. Homer number 9, RBIs 20 and 21, and it's 3-0 Beavers.
Well, that was quick. That's what I'm going to say about that one. Wow. 6 pitches for Lauer and 3 hits, 2 home runs for the Beavers. They brought out the bats today for sure.
He had given up 1 run in 10 2/3. And without getting an out in the first, he has given up 3 more. And now the cleanup man, Alex Bell, who nobody seems to be able to get out in the USPBL. And the first pitch misses low. How about these numbers? 20 hits in 37 at-bats for a .541 batting average. A homer, 16 RBIs, 6 doubles. That amounts to a .838 slugging percentage. 2-0. High fly ball to left. Will it carry enough? Ortel to the track now comes in. He got under it, and Ortel makes the catch for the first out of the game. Even the first out looked promising for the Beavers as some light rain begins to fall here at Jimmy John's Field. 1 away in the first for Miles Williams.
Back-to-back nights now for rain, but that hit from Bell, I thought it might have had a chance too. It took Ortel back to the warning track, and just a lot of solid contact that the Beavers are getting early on in this one.
Little flare foul right side, 0-1 to Miles Williams. Miles Williams, 297, 3 homers, 15 RBIs. Not too shabby there for Williams in the 5 spot.
Well, what he's been able to do is really go the opposite way with all of his hitting. He's staying inside of the ball, and that's really opened up the whole field for him. He's not getting so pull happy and not rolling over all the pitches he sees to the shortstop and third baseman, and that's raised his average 100 points.
He's down 0-2 and dribbles it weakly back to the mound. Lauer flips it on to first base for the second out. Williams retired meekly, and with 2 outs, the batter will be Kevin Worth. 275 for the utility man. 2 long balls, 6 homers.
And I know 275 isn't as exciting as, the likes of 541 for Alex Bell, but Worth is raised his average about 50 points, has provided some power, and plays a pretty good third base too, as DJG, the normal second baseman, is getting a night off.
Check swing, didn't mean to, fouled it off.
Kennan slides over to second today with Worth in the lineup, but has been another bat that has come along nicely for Chris Newell.
3-0 Beavers, rain falling with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Delivery home, Worth flies that into left field, sends Ortel back to the track, and again comes in to make the catch for out number 3. 2 of the 3 outs recorded by Lauer were deep drives to left field. All totaled, the Beavers push across 3 runs on 3 hits, 2 of them homers, and a lot of solid contact in the first inning against Darren Lauer. We're through an inning. Beavers 3 and the Diamond Hoppers 0. This is the USPBL. Homers from Dave Pepe and Nick Wilson have given the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers a 3-0 lead through one. We played the bottom of the first in a light rain. I believe it's either stopped or it's just trickling now, as Tyler Booth leads off the second for the Diamond Hoppers, hitting .333 with 3 homers and 9 RBIs. Left-handed batter takes a called strike outside edge. Forrest Kumis in his second inning of work faced the minimum in the first, despite giving up a single. Delivers outside for ball 1.
Kumis induced that nice 6-4-3 double play to end the inning, really keeping the ball down in the zone, and that's the key for Forrest Kumis.
1-1 to Tyler Booth is up and away, 2-1. It's not a shift from the Beavers, but based on their defensive alignment, you would have to believe that they think Booth will pull the ball. Williams deep in right, and Phil is playing about normal depth, maybe even a little shallow in left, as that one's outside, 3-1. Plus Worth at third is well off the line. Not in an exaggerated way, but he is further off the line than he would be for most right-handed batters. 3-1 offering home. He is outside, ball 4, a 5-pitch walk to Tyler Booth. And that's been the little blemish that we've seen this year from Forrest Kumis. The walk total has been rather high, about 5 walks per 9 coming in. Yeah.
You saw all of those balls to Booth outside, and Kumis in that at-bat really not finishing his delivery, which has pushed everything into the right-handed batter's box.
Dalton DiNatale at .238, no homers, 5 RBIs. Also a left-handed batter, fouls it off the netting back behind the plate.
A lot of lefties in the lineup today. This is about as many lefties as you'll see, including Ricky Castro, who's a switch hitter. That's 5 of them.
No balls, 1 strike, nobody out, runner at first. And it's low. 1-1 the count to DiNatale. Paul Noce playing by the pre-2008 rules, coaching third with no helmet. The 1-1 offering is outside for ball 2, 2-1.
Either Kumis is really trying to hit that outside corner and is just missing, or he has really just lost command throughout these last 2 batters, because everything is outside well off the plate.
Next delivery home, bloop, shallow left field. Martinez back, makes the catch in shallow left. 1 away, DiNatale retired. And that brings up the center fielder, Joe Fiorino. Fiorino hitting .306. No extra base hits yet, 2 RBIs. .405 on base percentage.
He likes to run, though, if he gets on base. 3 for 5 in stolen base attempts, and that's really where his value comes from.
Next pitch misses inside to Fiorino, 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0, a little bit low, 2 balls, no strikes.
Outfielders very shallow for the Beavers. All 3 of them. That's Phyllis, Pepe, and Miles Williams.
2-0, ground ball to the left side. Martinez goes to second. Kinnan for 1, on to first, they complete a difficult double play. Ball was not hit all that hard, but they do turn 2 for their second straight inning-ending 6-4-3. Through an inning and a half, still 3-0 Beavers, and this is the USPBL. Bottom half of the second inning, Beavers 3, Diamond Hoppers nothing. Bottom 3 in Chris Newell's lineup to face Darren Lauer, who begins his second inning of work. Eric Phillips to begin things. 208 batting average, no homers, 9 RBIs for the left-handed hitter who wags his bat and takes an off-speed pitch just off the plate. Martinez on deck, then Devish to make his Beavers debut. Next pitch is low to Phillips, 2 balls, no strikes. Not often you see a pitcher give up 3 runs in an inning, as Lauer did, in an inning in which he only threw 13 pitches. Line drive left field down the line, slicing away from Ortel, who dives but can't make the play. It's off the wall. Into second goes Phillips, who will hold there with a double. Ball was tailing like one of my golf drives, just tailing and slicing away from the left fielder Ortel, and he couldn't catch up to it. And Phillips is aboard with a double.
And I think the happiest guy in this whole stadium right now has to be Chris Newell, because for the past week we've seen Newell and Phillips work one-on-one in a private batting practice session, and Newell has preached, go the opposite way. Do not roll over on the outside pitch, and Phillips did just that and is rewarded with the double.
First pitch is off the glove of the catcher Caswell. I think he was crossed up on the side. It gets away from him. It'll be a pass ball, sending Phillips to third. And a 1-0 count to DJ Martinez. 8-9 spots in the lineup occupied by the initials, DJ Martinez and RJ Devish. Martinez hitting .271, a homer, 7 RBIs. Diamond Hoppers will take the opportunity here early in this ball game. They're down 3-0. They will bring the infield in with nobody out. And it's lined hard, but caught it short by Castro. Martinez got good wood on it, but it was right into the awaiting glove of the shortstop Castro.
I think every out, even you take away the home runs, which are obviously good hits, but every out has been really solid contact, aside from the ground out from Miles Williams to the pitcher.
Yeah.
They're really teeing off on Lauer.
Worth fouls this one back off the net, or correction, Devish, and it's 0-1. The Bell and Worth flyouts to left could have left the building with wind. Called strike, makes it 0-2 to Devish. There were 2 balls that were hit really well, but they got under it. And with a little bit of wind help, could have gotten out. 0-2 to Devish, misses away. This is not the USPBL debut for Devish. He went 0 for 5 as a Diamond Hopper before a trade to the Beavers.
3rd trade of the year in the USPBL.
He chokes up, grounds it foul over on the left side.
Jalen Miller and Kyle Carter have also been traded around the league.
It's a good situation for him because he was blocked by Corey Caswell. They play the same position and just was not going to get a lot of time with the Diamond Hoppers. Takes that one high, 2-2.
And it's not like the Beavers have a bad catcher themselves. Ray Ortega's hitting well over 300. So it's tough for Devish to find some at-bats, but
especially with a deep lineup like this. He chokes up the 2-2 over his head to the backstop, hits that brick back behind the plate, comes right to the catcher Caswell, and no advancement made. It's 3-2 to Devish. As I mentioned, Devish, one of the best offensive seasons for a catcher in Big Ten history, leading the Big Ten in batting average and on-base percentage. 3-2, flies it shallow right field, could be trouble. Booth coming on near the line, makes the catch in foul territory. Tagging, heading to the plate. The throw, it is in time, but he got around the tag. In to score Phillips on an acrobatic slide to the backside of home plate, got around a tag. The throw was strong, a little bit to the third base side for the catcher Caswell, but as he turned and tried to make the tag, could not apply it to Phyllis, who scores the 4th run of the ball game for the Beavers.
Oh, that was a great slide. He knew that the ball was going to beat him and that Caswell was going to corral it, but just totally bypassed Caswell and hit the plate on the way back.
Swing and a miss by Pepe. Nothing in one. Pepe a line drive homer to right, back in the 1st. Lauer into the motion, delivers home. Pepe takes an outside corner, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Pepe, 2 away. The kick, the pitch home from Lauer. A little bit low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4-0 Beavers our score. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Count should be 1-2. They've got it 2-1 on the scoreboard. Here's the kick and the 1-2 home. It's high, 2-2. Well, the home plate umpire has indicated 3-2. If this is a ball, it could get interesting. Here's the pitch home, and it's on the inside corner. And whatever the count is a moot point. Pepe is caught looking for strike 3. First strikeout for Lauer. Another run across the board for the Beavers. A double, a passed ball, and a sac fly scores Eric Phyllis. And we're through 2 innings with the Beavers ahead, 4-0.
Are you ready to be amazed? Here they are, Quick Change. Number 14, Jamie.
I don't know how well you could see it on the feed there in between innings up the first base line. Quick Change, the magician group that changes their clothes really quickly, performed in between innings. By saying they're the group that changes their clothes really quickly doesn't do them a bit of justice, because they're so much better than that description, but they magically change clothes. The female performer changes clothes in a quick and magical way. It's a great show.
The name says it all.
First pitch misses outside to Jamie McMillan, 1 ball, no strikes. So far, Kumis has faced the minimum, aided by a couple of 6-4-3 double plays. 1-0, catches the outside corner to McMillan, who's at 297, no homers and 4 driven in for the Peach Stater.
Kumis has been saved by the 2 double plays. He's thrown 24 pitches. Half of them have been balls, but able to get 2 critical ground balls.
1-1 pitch misses in on McMillan. He's drawn a lot of walks as well. About 300 batting average and just under 400 on base percentage. Takes the 2-1 pitch low for, I got 2-2 now. No, I'm sorry, 3-1's the count. McMillan waits patiently in the left-handed box and takes outside. Second walk issued by Forrest Kumis.
Now batting second baseman, number 2, Cam Stewart.
Cam Stewart, second baseman, steps in.
This might be the first time all year that Stewart has not batted in the 9-hole.
Just a 226 batting average, but a 368 on base percentage.
He walks a ton, and he drives in a decent amount of runs. He has 9 RBIs this year with a home run.
McMillan leads at first. This one's fouled back off the net. Without the netting, that might have been right in Kevin's lap.
I don't bring my mitt to the games.
Don't need it. We got pretty good net covering. There's a possibility of a foul ball. It would have to be when they got way high enough to get over the netting and then had a trajectory into the booth. A 1 pitch is low, 1-1. As you watch us on YouTube, that's the angle we have. That's the same. In fact, our camera is right next to.
First thing I would do, though, is save the laptop. I don't care about my face or arm or wherever the ball would hit me. I got to save the laptop.
Ground ball to short. Martinez to Kinnan to Wilson for the 3rd time this game, and this is the 3rd inning. The Beavers have turned a shortstop to second to first. Double play.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro.
And here's Ricky Castro. And east side of these two teams is known as the team that has the best team speed. Yet they have hit into 3 double plays in 3 innings. 9-hole hitter Ricky Castro bats with the bases empty, and the switch hitting shortstop takes low. 162 batting average, but with a 340 on base percentage. No homers, 3 RBIs. Outside corner fastball strike, evens it up at 1-1.
Hasn't had a start or significant at-bats since June 18th. Ever since Ryan Willard came into the USPBL, Willard has stolen the shortstop position from Castro, now primarily just a pinch runner and a spot starter.
Inside and low to Castro, makes it 2-1. Next pitch, line to the left by Castro, and foul it out of play. It's off one of the umbrellas up the third base line, group seating area. Runs the count to 2-2 to Castro. We're at the top of the 3rd inning from Jimmy John's Field. East side Diamond Hoppers batting but trailing the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers 4-0. The 2-2 offering home is swung on and missed. Castro was late on a Kumis fastball. First strikeout for Kumis, who has faced the minimum through 3 innings. Through 2.5 here from Jimmy John's Field. Beavers 4, Diamond Hoppers 0. Brad and Kevin back with you from Jimmy John's Field in Utica, bottom half of the 3rd inning. And the Beavers in enjoying a 4-0 lead, 3 in the first. After the first 3 batters, Pepe homer, Kinnan single, Wilson homer. And then manufacturing a run in the second with a leadoff double by Phyllis. Pass ball and then a sac fly by Devish. So 4-0. Beavers leading, and Dan Kinnan, the 2-hole hitter, taking strike 1 on the outside edge.
It was the first home run for Wilson in 5 games, so for him, a little bit of a power drought, but got the stroke back in the first.
Slider swung and missed by Kinnan, 0-2. It's the biggest drought of the year as far as number of games played for Wilson. 0-2 delivery, popped up foul right side, and hits off the top of the dugout seating area.
Coming into this one, he, being Nick Wilson, had a home run every 8 at-bats, a little under 8, but just numbers that jump off the page.
Another 0-2 to Kinnan, bouncing ball down the third baseline. High hop, backhanded by Willard, throws across the diamond, and gets Kinnan by a couple of steps. 1 down.
Now batting number 6, first baseman, Nick
And
Wilson.
here is the aforementioned Nick Wilson, who hit a line drive home run to left. One of the hardest hit balls, at least by appearance. We don't have, the velocity off the bat numbers that you have in the big leagues now.
Next year.
But the exit velocity. Wilson takes a called strike at the belt, 0-1. But it looked to be just a bullet line drive home run. It didn't take much time to get out of here, and it never got that high off the ground. 0-1 to Wilson. Slow it away. Did he go? No. Appeal made to the first base umpire. 1-1 the count. There was no doubt that Wilson hit the ball hard. The doubt was, did he get it up enough to get over the wall and left? And the answer was yes. This one is high, and it's 2-1 to Wilson.
Lauer just tried to power a fastball right by Wilson, and no fastball in this league is too fast or too powerful for Nick Wilson.
2-1's chopped foul, got him in the batter's box, and it's 2-2.
That's why you see so many breaking balls to Wilson now, because pitchers are afraid to give him a heater.
It's 2-2 as Wilson waits and takes high. And the count is now full. Lauer getting the spot start today, winds and delivers a payoff pitch. And he hits Wilson with an off-speed pitch. No ill intent. Ball was only floating in there at about 75 to 80. But Wilson hit by a pitch. He's at first.
That's one way to keep him in the ballpark, as the rain again is coming down, this time a little harder than the first time.
First pitch to Alex Bell, nicks the outside corner for a called strike. It's the 4th time already that Wilson has been hit by a pitch. He presents the biggest target in the league as Alex Bell fouls that one back, 0-2. By terms of surface area, it's the most surface area for a pitcher to hit.
And he walks a ton. He's really an impressive player. He knows how to get on base. A crazy clip that he does so as well. Now over 500. He came in at even 500 on base percentage and has reached twice.
Yep. Low to Bell. It's now 1-2. The pitch home, and that one's just missed low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. One thing Wilson does not possess is a whole lot of speed. He has attempted unsuccessfully a stolen base this year, and he takes a very modest lead.
And even that.
2-2's on the outside corner, and Bell is caught looking.
even that stolen base attempt was more of a pickoff, and Wilson was hung up in a rundown, so not a straight steal attempt.
Two down now. Wilson still at first for Miles Williams, who grounded back to the mound in the first inning. And he takes a look at that one on the inside corner. 0-1. Some fans braving it, some fans heading to cover, some fans going with ponchos and sweatshirts overhead. 0-1, foul tipped into the mitt, in and out of the mitt by Wilson. It's nothing, or Williams rather, 0-2. Light rain. I think we're really nowhere near the type of rain that would necessitate a delay.
It's almost coming in horizontal.
Outside and low. With some wind maybe coming in from left. Batting down that rain. The 1-2, bouncing ball fouled on the third base line past longtime big league coach Rich Donnelly. Stays a ball and 2 strikes to Williams. Next delivery home, and it's a called strike 3. And Williams caught looking, back-to-back strikeouts for Darren Lauer. No runs, no hits. There was a man left on base. We've played 3 complete from Jimmy Johns Field. It's the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers 4 and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers nothing. Top of the order for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as we begin the top half of the 4th inning. Luke Ortel, Ryan Willard, and Corey Caswell will face Forrest Kumis. And here with the play-by-play story, it's Kevin Klein.
Ortel lined out to lead off the game to Kevin Worth. And we'll take a ball outside. The Diamond Hoppers looking to stay out of the double play for the first time, or for the first inning all game. They have grounded into a 6-4-3 double play each frame.
Very little variety.
And that one is driven into center field. Back goes Pepe and makes a running grab for out number 1. Ortel retired for the second time today. That'll bring up Ryan Willard, who has the lone single for the Diamond Hoppers today. Came back in the first inning. Kumis has not had his best command today, has thrown actually more balls than strikes, as that one is low. 17 strikes, 20 balls, but as we just mentioned, the 3 double plays have been very beneficial. A curveball skips away from Devish for ball number 2, 2-0. Willard, with that first inning single, raised his average to 395, which is good enough to lead the team. Caswell, Booth, and also Chris Power came into this one all tied at 333 for number 2 on the team. 2-0 pitch is driven foul. It looks like the rain has subsided. It was just the one cloud. We do have some other dark clouds rolling in from left field. Called strike 2-2, but for the time being, it seems like Jimmy John's Field will stay dry. Two pitch is poked out, foul. Wilson gave chase for just a few steps, but well out of play, and it's 2-2. 4-0 Beavers here in the top of the 4th inning now. Corey Caswell on deck. He grounded into the first of 3 6-4-3 double plays. Swing and a miss. Willard down on strikes. It gets away from R.J. Devish, and Willard will easily make it down to first base without a throw.
Tough ball in the dirt there, handcuffed Devish, who blocked it, but it scooted off to the side, off to his left. Would have been better just not blocking it and letting it come back to him off the backstop. Obviously, that's not the
Easier said than done.
Instinct of a catcher, yeah. But because it went to the left, there's so much room to the left and to the right of the catcher, there's hardly any room behind him, directly behind him from home plate.
Willard on for the second time, a check swing from Caswell, and it's 0-1.
Of course, the good thing about getting on base for Willard is that it sets up the 6-4-3 double play opportunity for the Beavers to try to turn their 4th of the game.
Kuma's taking quite a bit of time here, and Caswell will call time. That was the second double play that Caswell has hit into, and it was the 14th. They've now hit into 16 double plays this year. 0-1 pitch is way outside, and it's 1-1. We mentioned Willard, who's on first base, playing third base today and has had a few opportunities to show off the arm. Usually plays shortstop, and the arm strength there for Willard. 1-1 pitch to Caswell is outside. Devish blocks, 2-1. Caswell a tie with Alex Delgado for the team lead in RBIs with 12. 2-1 inside, up and in, and actually clipped Caswell right on the shoulder, and that'll put 2 men aboard with just 1 out. Not a great inning so far. A pass ball allowed Ryan Willard to reach on what should have been a strikeout and then a hit batter. Two men aboard now for Tyler Booth. The cleanup man walked in the second. but then was erased with a Joe Fiorino double play. Ball in the dirt, and it's 1-0. Booth has been moved up in the lineup and has now batted cleanup for the past 3 nights, usually in the 7 or 8 spot, but a power surge for Tyler. 3 home runs in his last 6 games. And another ball outside. Devish is going to try to calm down Kumis, who really has been dancing with trouble all night, allowing at least 1 base runner in all 4 innings now, but really has been helped out by the double play. He has still thrown more balls than strikes, but only has thrown 49 pitches. So the pitch count in good order, and it looks like there is a little bit of activity in the Beavers bullpen. Houghton Buchanan starting to loosen up. 3-0 on Booth. Willard on second, Caswell on first. Booth looking to walk for the 2nd time today, and he will. That'll load the bases with 1 out, and Dalton DiNatale has a chance to put the Diamond Hoppers on the board for the first time today.
Well, what an innocent start to this inning for Kumis. Easy fly out to center, who's hit pretty well, and then a strikeout. But Willard reaches, he hits Caswell, walks Booth, and now suddenly is in his first jam of the game. He had 1 base runner per inning in the first 3. And all 3 were erased on double plays. Now suddenly with 1 out has the bases loaded. The 5-hole hitter at the plate, and he represents the tying run in a game that the Beavers have been cruising in.
Crazy how 1 swing of the bat can change the complexion of a game, and DiNatale will try to do so here. 0 for 1 today, popped out to the shortstop Martinez. And that one is into center field. In comes Pepe, out goes Martinez. It will drop. 1 run will score. Everyone had to pause momentarily to see if it would be caught. It looked like Pepe or the left fielder Phyllis probably had the best chance to catch that ball, but it was Martinez who actually made contact with the batted ball.
Yeah, just kind of no man's land. Right between the shortstop, left fielder, and center fielder. Pepe and Martinez, of those 3, have the better speed, and it's easier for Pepe coming in than Martinez back, but he was further away from it. Martinez ended up with the best shot at it, but that's a tough angle, shortstop going back on a ball, and it was just out of his reach.
Strike 1 to Joe Fiorino, who grounded into the 2nd of 3 double plays. That'll go down as an RBI single for Dalton DiNatale. It's now 4-1. And Fiorino grounds 1 to Martinez, who flips to Kennan. Relay, not in time, and that'll bring another run home. Fiorino able to speed his way out of a 2nd double play today.
Now batting first baseman, number 14.
And there are 2 outs, but it is 4-2.
Thought they had that chance. That was a similar ball to the one Fiorino hit in the 2nd, where it wasn't hit that hard, but Beavers were able to turn the double play. That time they weren't, and it allows the run to score. But a pretty good effort there by DiNatale to get there and slow down Kennan at second base.
McMillan takes strike 1. Walked to last inning, and with a base hit here, will get the Hoppers 1 run closer to tying it up. It's 4-2. (1-1) on the big first baseman. and it's a ball outside. One thing I've noticed watching Forrest Kumis pitch quite often now in his 7th appearance is that he cruises through a few really good innings and then has one hiccup before finishing out a really good start. He sits at 3-0, hasn't taken a loss yet, and his ERA is under 2, but there seems to be one rough patch per start.
And those are the type of things that can perplex a scout when you watch him. You say, I'd take the guy I saw through the first 3 innings, but then you see that hiccup and you wonder which is the Forrest Kumis you're going to see.
3-1 now on McMillan, that way outside, and the bases are loaded once again. 4th walk of the day for Kumis. You mentioned in the open, Brad, that has plagued him, and it has again today. Cam Stewart grounded into the 3rd double play. Kumis doesn't need a double play here, just needs an out with the bases loaded and 2 down. Booth on 3rd, Fiorino on 2nd, and McMillan on 1st. Pitch number 1 to Cam Stewart. Catches the outside corner.
Top of the 4th inning isn't typically a key spot in this ball game, but you're looking at Kumis could just a single could tie this ball game.
0-1 is a curveball that is swung on and missed. 0-2.
Really good late action on that pitch. Sold it well as a fastball.
0-2 to Cam Stewart. Kumis working from the windup. And it's a fastball outside. Tried to go with something hard on the outer 3rd, but it was pushed a little too far out. Swing and a miss, an awkward looking swing. Devish will tap the plate for the force out. The Hoppers get 2 runs on an RBI single from Di Natale and then a ground out from Fiorino. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning, 4-2. Beavers still out in front.
Number 3, Andrew Bynum.
Diamond Hoppers go to the bullpen as we move on to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Beavers lead is 4-2. And for Eastside, new pitcher is Andrew Bynum, California native from Huntington Beach. Played at UC Irvine, Orange Coast College, and 2 seasons in the Horizon League with Valparaiso. Bynum has been used both ways by Paul Nochi as a pitcher. This is his third pitching appearance, 3 innings, 2 hits, a run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He's also 0 for 6 at the plate.
He will be facing Worth, then Phyllis and Martinez, 6, 7, 8. Worth flied out to the left fielder Luke Ortel in the first. That ended that frame. A inning where the Beavers scored 3 times and 2 quick balls on Worth. Who is hitting .268 on the year with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. A crouched stance in the right-handed batter's box, swings and misses at that one, and it's 2-1.
You know, he's a guy that I think hitting coaches are sometimes maybe a little baffled by, because he is able to be successful with unique mechanics. He's got a lot of wrist action pre-pitch and kind of a loop in his swing, but he's a guy that makes it work.
Another swing and a miss, this one on an inside fastball, and it's 2-2. That one coming in at 92 miles an hour.
I think Worth's a guy as a hitter where you would say, maybe you're teaching a clinic, do as I say, not as I do.
Swing and a miss, and Bynum gets his first strikeout of the day. 3 straight Beavers have struck out.
You know, Kevin, I want to go back to that top half of the 4th inning, and I thought we saw, for a lot of that inning, kind of the Forrest Kumis that's not his best. And then I thought we saw the very best of Forrest Kumis in that last at bat, the way he really bared down in a tough spot to get Stewart out.
Ground ball through the right side for Phyllis. It's another base hit for Eric Phyllis, but to go back to the Kumis, the Cam Stewart at bat was really good. That curveball had great life on it and came back to get him swinging on a very awkward looking swing to end the at bat.
Well, and I don't know if he calls that a curveball or a slider. It had slider action because it was moving away from Stewart. And, you know, what I liked was the fact that he was battling his control problems, and he was faced with kind of a dilemma. The game was, in essence, on the line. They were a base hit away from tying the score. And he just went no nonsense. And, you know, I thought he showed his best stuff all game to Stewart. Now, before that, looking at an inning in which Beavers got a couple of runs and only got 1 hit. He put 3 guys on the 2 walks and the hit batsman. I don't blame a pitcher for a wild pitch strikeout. That just shows that you've got some good stuff, that you're getting guys to swing and miss on pitches like that. Those are bad breaks for pitchers.
2-0 on Martinez.
But, you know, and situationally, up 4-0, I think the walks are even worse. Because 4-0, you want to make the other team earn it. Okay, you give up a solo home run, so what? You don't want to give up a possibility of a 3-run homer by putting guys on in those situations. But at the same time, you know, you saw a guy with the bases loaded and facing maybe the potential of his last batter of the game. They had bullpen action. He threw 29 pitches in the inning. They may not have wanted to go over 30 in an inning. And he got it done with a big strikeout.
3-0 on Martinez, and that just shows you what kind of pitcher Forrest Kumis is. Very resilient, and that's why he has earned the number 2 starter role for Chris Newell. Bynum in danger of walking DJ Martinez. We have seen some control issues from Bynum as well, and does so with that inside fastball. 2 men aboard now for R.J. Devish. Had a sac fly in the 2nd inning. And Caswell trying to calm down his pitcher. Coming into this one in 3 innings, Bynum had walked 2. Number 9 man Devish now. and that's a strike right down the middle. The one thing the Beavers are really good at doing, they're a really good offensive team, really good pitching team, but they come back after giving up a few runs in an inning, and in the bottom half of the inning or the next half inning if they're the away team, as it's a ground ball to Bynum, who goes to second for one, and over to McMillan for the double play. I was going to say they come back and score a lot of runs. They were threatening that inning, obviously did not score, but they get guys on base and puts pressure on the opposing pitcher. Not able to scratch across a run that inning. It's still 4-2 as we head to the fifth on the USPBL YouTube channel.
Buchanan.
Pitching change for the Beavers, and the big right-hander Houghton Buchanan will check into the lineup for Birmingham Bloomfield. That means that Forrest Kumis will not qualify for the win today after going 4 innings. But Buchanan takes over on the mound. The big righty making appearance number 9 of the year. Each appearance has been about an inning, 8 2/3 innings in his 8 appearances. Only 4 hits allowed. The problem has been the control, 10 walks, 13 strikeouts for Houghton Buchanan. A 3.11 ERA and just a 133 opponent's batting average on the season. Buchanan 1 win, no losses, and a save for the Diamond Hoppers. And I think that big 4th inning for the Diamond Hoppers, in which they put across 2 runs and stranded the bases loaded, is what really knocked Kumis out of the game and prevented him the opportunity to go 5+ to qualify for the win. Kumis will not record a decision in 4 innings, 2 hits allowed, but he had a lot of base runners, 4 walks and 1 hit batsman. 2 runs charged to him, both earned in the 4 innings with 3 strikeouts. 62 pitches, 29 for strikes. And I think the big issue, it wasn't the overall pitch number of 62, but it was the high pitch count and the stressful pitches he had to throw in the 4th inning, in which really it jacked up the pitch count. His pitch count was 10 in the 1st, 12 in the 2nd, and 11 in the 3rd. So, you want to keep a pitcher at right around 10, and that's about what he did the first 3 innings. But it really jumped up with the 29 pitches in the 4th inning, and so the big right-hander from Mississippi takes over.
Buchanan delivers a high and outside ball to the number 9 man, Ricky Castro. It will be Castro, then back to the top with Ortel and Willard. You mentioned the 10 walks this year. A lot of those came in his first 3 or 4 appearances, though, as that one is at the belt for a ball. He's really been doing a better job of locating his pitch, finishing his delivery, and repeating his delivery with the good mechanics that he has, something that sometimes is hard for a tall pitcher to do. 2-1 on Castro, who is 0 for 1 today.
That was his reputation in the Mariners organization as well when he was pitching for Seattle.
2-1 pitch is inside, 3-1.
He threw 72 professional innings with the Clinton Lumber Kings and the Everett Aqua Sox. And in 72 innings, he walked 62. Very high walk number. He also struck out 98 in 72 innings in pro ball.
Well, that just shows you, as that's a 5-pitch walk. There are two different Houghton Buchanans that you can see. The one that pounds the strike zone and uses a high fastball to his advantage, or the one that really can't locate anything, and then the high fastball becomes an issue because he's behind in the count and it just translates into walks. So the leadoff man is aboard. 5th walk of the day for Beavers pitching. Ortel is 0 for 2 today, and that's a strike on the outside corner.
Houghton Buchanan played his college ball in the Southeastern Conference at Ole Miss. Very good competitive baseball program there.
Ball inside. And you can see just from his physical appearance why coaches and managers really love him, because he has so much power behind that arm. But if you can't locate your fastball and build off of the fastball, you're going to struggle to ascend through the Major League Baseball ranks. 1-1 pitch to Ortel is just off the plate.
You'll continue to get opportunities at the minor league level because of a live arm. But again, if you can't pitch under control, you'll get those opportunities, but they won't last long.
It's another strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Buchanan going back to that outside corner on Ortel. Ortel took a look back at the home plate umpire after the second called strike. Probably something inside or high on this 2-2 delivery. Runner goes, swing and a miss. The throw down from Devish, not in time, and it's a stolen base for Ricky Castro, but Ortel down on strikes. There's the high fastball that Buchanan used effectively in that at-bat.
And again, you see that stuff. You know, the Mariners scouts loved it when they saw it, and he's one of a lot of guys in this league that can continue to get looks by major league clubs because of a very live arm.
That's why, especially looking at this league, a lot of guys have good stuff and strike out a lot of people, but walk a ton as well. That's why what Evan Pachota was able to do, as it's a ball low to Willard, with 37 strikeouts to 1 walk, is so impressive and so remarkable because of that control, and that's eventually what led to his departure from the USPBL with signing with the Pirates organization. Another high fastball. It's 2-0 on Willard, who is 1 for 2 today, but has reached base twice.
With Pachota as well, you also saw the dramatic increases in his stuff, too. He got harder. He was throwing harder as the season went on, and he was getting tighter, better break on his breaking ball, and I think that speaks to the work that was done by the pitching staff in the USPBL with the delivery value system and Justin Orendorff.
Another ball. It's 3-0 on Willard.
And the guys that have made it and signed pro contracts have really given the delivery value system a lot of credit to going over their mechanics, making slight tweaks to improve it, improve their stuff.
And that's another walk. I was talking to Justin before one of the games about a week ago, and I was asking him about Pachota, and he said one slight tweak in his mechanics increased his fastball by about 4 miles per hour.
Well, and if you go with his initial velocity and you throw a lot of strikes, you're probably going to get hit. But you add that 4 miles an hour to the velocity, you tighten up the breaking ball, and all of a sudden you're not walking guys, you're around the plate, but the stuff is tough to hit. You're missing bats.
2 men aboard now for Caswell, who shoots one foul down the right field line.
And Kevin, you hear the term missing bats a lot, and it's not necessarily about striking guys out when you're a pitcher, but it's about missing the solid part of the bat. If your ball's breaking just a little bit more, and instead of hitting the fat part of the bat, you're just missing it, you're getting a lot of outs. You're making your defense work.
Swing and a miss. And a lot of ground balls as well. We saw a lot of double plays that were initiated by Evan Pachota. A lot of strikeouts as well, and really kept the ball in the ballpark, and that's what the scouts raved about him, was his control and his ability to get the critical ground balls. 0-2 on Caswell, who is 0 for 1 today, but did score last inning after getting hit. 1-2 on a high fastball, and Caswell did not chase. One-two pitch is driven, and that'll drop into left field for a base hit. Castro coming around third. He will score without a throw. The throw comes into third. It is an RBI double for Corey Caswell. 4-3.
Good contact there in a situation where you just want to make contact. 1-2, and he hit a line drive into left field, got the base hit. I would have liked to have seen that throw from Phyllis come into second base. They didn't have a shot at third, but if you can hold Caswell at first, you keep a double play in order on a ground ball to get out of an inning, and you keep what now is the potential go-ahead run at first instead of scoring position.
Both teams, especially the Diamond Hoppers, have taken advantage of the free passes today. It's another first pitch ball to Tyler Booth, who has walked twice himself. The Hoppers last inning scored twice on just the one hit from Di Natale. 2 walks in that inning, a hit batter. This inning, 2 walks and 1 hit, and already a run. A foul tap, and it's 1-1. Interesting that Buchanan's not getting ahead of batters, because he comes into this one with a 68% first pitch strike percentage. Second and third, 1 out. Booth with a 1-1 count, and that one is low. Again, a good hitter's count for a Diamond Hoppers player. Ground ball to Wilson, backs up on it, gets a nice hop, and will take it himself, but that'll tie up this ball game. The Hoppers have scored twice in both the 4th and 5th innings now, and we have a 4-4 game. 4 runs for Eastside on just 3 hits.
But a lot of free passes, 6 walks and a hit batsman. That'll do it. It's part of the reason why I see a lot more teams care about the on-base percentage than they did 20 years ago.
The movie Moneyball comes to mind. Di Natale flies one foul left side. He had the RBI single last inning, and will look to do the same with Corey Caswell at third. That is the go-ahead run. Swing and a miss. Buchanan has thrown 23 pitches, and just like Kumis, has thrown more balls than strikes. 13 balls, 11 strikes. DiNatale with the slightly open stance. Broken bat, slow roller to Kennan, who an underhand toss, not in time, and DiNatale, who was hustling down the first base line, is safe. An infield single for Dalton DiNatale on what looked like an inning-ending ground out.
Well, Kennan got really nothing on the throw. He decided to flip it from that position, and he got way too much air under it. Even if you, whether you go overhand or underhand, you want to get a little bit more velocity on it, and Kennan just held onto that ball too long. From the naked eye, it looked like they got him.
Well, here's another opportunity for Kennan, who fields this one and will go with the overhand toss. And that'll do it for the top of the 5th inning, but the Hoppers have taken a 1-run lead on the RBI single from Dalton DiNatale, his 2nd RBI single of the day. We're halfway through this one in Utica, Michigan. 5-4, Hoppers out in front.
From Fort Ashby, West Virginia, number 5, Jeff Conley.
Diamond Hoppers bring on their 3rd pitcher of the ball game. They go to a southpaw, and it is West Virginia native Jeff Conley, a left-hander, takes over on the mound for the Diamond Hoppers. And Conley making his USPBL debut today. We face the top of the order, beginning with a lefty, Dave Pepe. Andrew Bynum with an inning, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout.
A slow breaking ball stays high, and it's 1-0 on Pepe. 1 for 2 with that leadoff home run in the 1st inning. Swing and a miss. Good fastball there on the outer edge from Conley. We've seen a lot of guys make their USPBL debuts as of late with all the roster turnover, especially on the Unicorns team. That's another fastball on the outer third, and it's 1-2. Conley does not square up for his windup as the slow breaking ball is fouled back to the netting. It's more of a slanted start. Both of his feet parallel to almost the base path between first and second. A high fastball is tapped foul. Paul Nochi, adding Conley into the bullpen mix, a third lefty, along with Jared Gaynor, who we saw start yesterday, and Dan Meyer, one of the other starters for the Diamond Hoppers. Another foul from Pepe, and he's staying alive here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Beavers facing their first deficit of the day, 5-4.
It's been a good battle by Pepe. He's taken some defensive swings in this at-bat that haven't looked pretty, but with 2 strikes, he's been able to continue the at-bat by fighting off some tough pitches.
Well, it's already an 8-pitch at-bat. This will be the 8th toss. And before that, Pepe will step out. Swing and a miss. Pepe is down on strikes. The 8th pitch got him. Couldn't foul that one off, and it's a strikeout to start Conley's USPBL career. One down now for Dan Kennan. Kennan scored on the Nick Wilson home run in the first and takes a ball up at the belt, 1-0. Then grounded out to the third baseman, Willard, in the third. Swing and a miss. Conley, some initial thoughts, likes to work quickly and has pretty good life on his fastball. We've seen the breaking ball a few times, but the fastball, good life. There's the breaking ball. It's a shallow looper that will fall into Cam Stewart's glove. 2 down.
Now batting the first baseman, number 6, Nick Wilson.
Wilson has reached twice, a 2-run home run in the first, and was hit in the third. And this is how you like to face Nick Wilson. The bases are empty and with 2 outs. Matt Rogers warming in the Diamond Hoppers bullpen as a first pitch swinging strike for Nick Wilson. The outfielders for the Diamond Hoppers playing at a incredible depth. Booth in right is probably 5 or 6 steps in front of the warning track. Same can be said with Ortel in left. Fiorino a little more shallow. And that's strike number 2, a breaking ball, fooled Wilson.
Well, wouldn't you play deep if this guy was at the plate? I mean, all of his hits are, every time he hits the ball, it makes contact. It goes to the deep outfielder over the fence.
Another swing on a breaking ball, and Conley is not phased by Nick Wilson's power. Conley with his second strikeout, and we're through 5. It is 5-4 in favor of the Hoppers. We head to the 6th on the USPBL YouTube channel.
The new pitcher for the Beavers is right-hander Andrew Nelson. Nelson comes on for the Beavers for his 9th appearance, his 7th in relief, correction, 8th in relief. 12 innings, 6 hits, only 3 earned runs, but much like Buchanan, high walk total for Nelson, 11 walks in 12 innings, also a high strikeout total with 15 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting 143 against the right-hander from Lexington, Kentucky, and his ERA coming in 2.25. He has no decisions yet on the year.
Ball 1 to McMillan, who has walked twice. It's the bottom third of the Diamond Hoppers order. McMillan, Stewart, and Castro this inning. Batting with a 1-run lead and a foul tip into the glove. Just another one of the relievers, the many relievers, I should say, with an ERA under 3 for Chris Newell to work with. Eric Kimber, Michael Doloff, and Jake Welch, the other relievers with a sub-3 ERA. Alex Kinch and Forrest Kumas had ERAs under 3 as well, primarily starters though. 1-2 pitch is just outside. Devish held it there for an extra beat, but did not fool the home plate umpire. It's a 2-2 count on McMillan. And that one is into left field. Back goes Phyllis on the run. Makes the grab as he crashes into the wall. Good piece of opposite field hitting for McMillan, but it translates in into just a long out.
Good piece of outfielding as well there by Phyllis. That has, as an outfielder, that play you have to have no fear, because you know you're on a dead sprint to make the catch, and you also know as you start hitting dirt that that wall is approaching.
Fastball high to Cam Stewart, who's 0 for 2 today. The wall does have some nice padding, though. I had the opportunity at the very beginning of the season to test it out myself. Strike 1. And it does have good padding. It's a high wall, so no fear in injuring yourself unless you have an awkward piece of contact with it. 1-1 pitch is low. Unlike right field, which is uncovered, that's just a chain link fence, and that's where it can get a little dangerous with catching a cleat in there or something of that nature.
Well, and it's really about 2/3 of the outfield fence is that chain link, as there's a big portion from left center to almost straightaway center that's chain link. You got the pads in the batter's eye straightaway center, but from just right of straightaway center all the way into the corner and right, you got the chain link.
Martinez fields one cleanly and tosses to Wilson. Stewart's out on the tag. That's where it's nice to have such a big target over at first base. Wilson with the jump and the tag, 2 down. Ricky Castro scored a run, stole a base, walked, all in the 5th inning, and pulled back a bunt attempt. It's a ball inside. A ball. Nelson really trying to paint that outside corner, and Devish is doing a pretty good job framing the pitch, just not getting the call. The umpire has been consistent. 3-0 on the number 9 man. And this is something that the Beavers have already done today, is walk the 9 man. And that has gotten them into trouble, especially with Ortel lurking in the on-deck circle. And Ryan Willard, who has been red hot, has scored twice already today with a base hit in the hole. 3-1. misses, and that is another walk to Ricky Castro.
Now batting left fielder number 44, Luke Orton.
Well, if this lead stays for the Diamond Hoppers, the Beavers, looking back at this one, are going to really regret all the free passes.
The one thing that's interesting that I was thinking of before the game when I saw that Darren Lauer was the starter is, if it is a close game in the ninth, who is Paul Noce going to turn to with using his closer in reverse order by starting the game? Ball outside to Ortel, who's 0 for 3.
I used to hear managers in a game like this where it's a spot start by a reliever refer to this game as Johnny Holstaff. Who knows who it's going to be? But everybody who has some gas in the tank may get a call.
Nelson steps off, and there are capable arms in the bullpen. Rogers has been up and down throwing, but he has not allowed an earned run so far. Tatum Hendricks got touched up a little bit the other day, but his ERA is still below 2.5. And also Drew Bravo in the bullpen. So 3 good arms still available for Noce to play around with. Fly ball, center field. Pepe going back just in front of the track to make the spinning catch. And that'll do it for the top of the 6th inning. A 2-out walk is stranded, and we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-4 Hoppers. Bottom half of the 6th inning, Jeff Conley opens it up with a strike to Alex Bell. It will be Bell, Williams, and Worth. A rip foul just outside the third base bag, and it's 0-2. Conley had a really good opening inning for his USPBL debut, struck out Pepe and Wilson, who are number 2 and 3 on the team in hitting, and both had already homered today as well. Wilson was swinging at a few breaking balls that danced all around the zone. One-two to Bell. Inside and almost caught his back foot. Two and two now on Bell, who takes strike 3 can't believe it, but he is down looking for the second time today, and it's the third strikeout for Conley. Has really just mowed through the top of the order that, as Brad mentioned at the beginning of the game, was hitting a combined 350 with an on-base percentage of almost 500, retired all 4 of them. That's Pepe, Kennan, Wilson, and Bell. Williams is 0 for 2 as well and takes ball 1.
They are a combined coming in 385 batting average, 466 on base.
And that part of the order is responsible for 3 of the 5 hits so far today. The other 2 coming from Eric Phillis. One on Williams, and it's cut on and missed. A lot of Beavers strikeouts, 7 of them. 2 by Pepe, 2 by Bell, and then 1 by Wilson, Williams, and Worth. It's a ball outside. And that's another strikeout, the 4th for Conley. And there are quickly 2 down.
I think the Diamond Hoppers have found themselves a gem in this left-hander. Played his college ball at Alderson Broadus, which is a Division II program in West Virginia. Pretty good program. They're in the GMAC, which is a conference that consists mostly of Ohio schools. They're about to add some of the old GLIAC schools like Hillsdale and Findlay and some of the others.
Ball 1 to Kevin Worth, who has struck out once today and grounds that one to Willard. Picks it up, a nice throw over across the diamond to McMillan, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. 6 consecutive Beavers retired by Jeff Conley in his USPBL debut. We're through 6, 5-4. The Hoppers still clinging onto that 1-run lead.
Fear not, though, as everyone is great job, Crew 59.
Top of the 7th inning, 5-4 Hoppers. Andrew Nelson still in there for his 2nd inning of work, and for the remainder of the game, I will toss it over to my partner, Brad Golder, for the play-by-play commentary.
Thank you, Kevin. Ryan Willard has been on base all 3 times today in 3 different and at times unique methods. First pitch to him, good bender in there for a strike. Started him off with a breaking ball. He singled hard up the middle in the first. He struck out in the 4th but reached on a wild pitch and then walked in the 5th. Last 2 times he's been on base, he has eventually scored. Willard takes high on a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Second inning of work for Andrew Nelson, who pitched a scoreless, hitless 6th inning with a walk. Low on away, all the way to the backstop, 2-1 to Willard. 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Diamond Hoppers order here in the 7th inning. Diamond Hoppers a win away from going above 500. They lead at 5-4. Fastball misses in to Willard, running the count to 3-1. Birmingham Bloomfield trailing by 1, but leading the league at 12-6. 3-1 is low, ball 4.
Coming into this one, the Hoppers are on a 3-game losing streak. Last night's game was suspended in the top of the 7th inning due to time constraints, so no decision or no record change after tonight or after last night's game.
The advantage to winning the regular season is a bye. There is a 2-game playoff to determine the winner of the USPBL for 2016. It's a 3-team league, and the playoff will be played on September 10th. That'll be the team that finishes 2nd against the team that finishes 3rd. So it's a big advantage for finishing first. Ball high, snapped out to first, just back safely. Willard at first. He went in standing and came close to regretting that decision. There's really not a big advantage between finishing 2nd or 3rd. If you finish 2nd or 3rd, you have to play in that playoff, that first playoff game.
There's two games to win either way. The only difference being the number 2 team, obviously, home field advantage, quote unquote.
Which is the advantage of batting 2nd, but both teams have Jimmy John's Field as their home field, so there is not an ambiance advantage. 1-1 the count to Caswell, set and pitch. Bouncing ball back to the mound. Fielded by Nelson to 2nd for 1. Shortstop Martinez on to 1st, and the Beavers turn another double play, their 4th of the game.
Nelson, that was a good turn to throw it to Martinez. A little off balance, but knew immediately once the ball was hit to him where he was going with the ball and did not hesitate, and that's what allowed Martinez to make a strong feed to Wilson to get the catcher Caswell.
2 outs now with the bases empty for Tyler Booth. The 1-game playoff between the 2 and 3 seeds would be played on September 10th. That's a Saturday, with the championship game Sunday, September 11th. And that would be the 1 seed, the team that finishes with the best record in the regular season, taking on the winner of Saturday's action. Still a long way to go for that one. The 1-0 is inside to the cleanup hitter, Tyler Booth, and the count is 2 balls, no strikes. Duel pitch, foul tipped into the mid. He took a big swing at what looked like a changeup, and it's 2-1. Base is empty, 2 away. And the pitch, high fastball, and Booth offers at it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It looks like Booth is trying to make this a 2-run lead for the Diamond Hoppers. Back-to-back huge swings. Swinging for the fences and has come up empty both times.
2-2, bouncing ball foul, first base side. Trickles down the line in foul territory, stays 2-2 to Booth. Next pitch home from Nelson. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Andrew Nelson faces the minimum in another hitless, scoreless inning. It's his first strikeout of the game. Eastside Diamond Hoppers lead 5-4 as we head to the 7th inning stretch from Jimmy John's Field.
Let's hear you, Jimmy John's Field. That was a fantastic rendition. Give yourself a hand. Your tickets now. The gates open at 6 p.m. Game starts at 7:25. You're not going to want to miss it.
Diamond Hoppers 5, Beavers 4. As we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning, Jeff Connolly will continue in, why the heck not? 2 innings, perfect so far for Connolly. He has struck out 4, and he has gone through the meat of the Beavers order. Faced 1 through 6, and now the bottom 3. Phyllis for a lefty-on-lefty matchup, followed by the initials, DJ Martinez and RJ Devish.
And this can be one of two things, and I think it's a little bit of both. One, it's Connolly's debut, so these hitters have not had a chance to face him in real-time game action. And the other reason is I think Connolly has really good stuff. We saw that first pitch breaking ball and another one right there that just missed. He's catching these hitters off guard and mixing speeds effectively.
1-1 to Phyllis, who pops it up. First base side, foul territory. McMillan, right of the coach's box, squeezes it with 2 hands. 7 up, 7 down for Connolly.
Now batting the shortstop, number 2.
As it stands right now, it's not Connolly's game to win. Right now, Bynum's the pitcher of record because he was the pitcher of record when they scored their 3 runs to take the lead. Now with 1 out in the 7th, having faced the lefty Phyllis, Paul Nochi goes to the mound, and he is going to relieve Connolly of his duties after facing 7 batters, retiring all 7. Connolly departs, and a right-hander enters for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Pitching change, Jimmy John's Field, and we're back in a moment.
Brad mentioned that Jeff Conley retired 7 consecutive Beavers. It will now be Jalen Miller for East Side. Miller has started a few games. This is his 5th appearance. He has started twice. 8 2/3 innings, 14 runs, only 5 of them earned though for a 5.19 ERA. The Louisville, Kentucky native will look to keep the ball in the zone today in 8 2/3 innings, 10 walks. So like many other pitchers in the USPBL, the free passes have plagued them. Will be facing DJ Martinez and RJ Devish, and if one of those two can reach, it will be the top of the order in Dave Pepe.
DJ Martinez, the first man to greet Jalen Miller, who winds and fires. And it's pops out of the mid of Caswell, missed just a little bit outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
The other problem is that Miller's whip is above 2. It's at 2.31, so really allows a lot of guys to reach base and a lot of guys to score, but many of them unearned runs.
One is high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Martinez. Miller works quickly. Pitch home is low and away. 3 balls, no strikes. Connolly, 2 1/3 innings. Retired all 7 he faced with 4 strikeouts. Great debut.
Only 30 pitches, too. Very efficient.
Right down Broadway, 3-1.
And I understand the move from Paul Noce to leave Connolly in there in the 7th to face the lefty Phyllis, but he's faced and retired a lot of good righties in the lineup as well. Why not leave him in for the bottom of the order?
That one is low, ball 4. You wonder if maybe not quite stretched out long enough to go extended innings. RJ Devish is going to give way to a pinch hitter. It's going to be the normal starting catcher, Ramon Ortega. He will bat for Devish in that 9 spot. Devish in his Beavers debut with a sac fly and a ground ball double play. Martinez at first. 1 down, pitch to Ortega, spins him off the plate high and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Catcher Caswell is going to go to the mound.
Welcome to the game, Ray Ortega. Ortega on the year, another one of the guys who's hitting over 300 at 333 with 6 RBIs. And the big number for him, in my opinion, is he's only struck out 8 times in 42 at-bats, which compared to a lot of other guys in the league is quite low. So he has a knack for putting the ball in play.
Runner goes, pitch is high and tight, throw down to second, hits the runner, and he will stop at second with a successful stolen base. 2nd steal of the year for DJ Martinez. Just the 7th steal this year as a team for the Beavers, but it gets a runner into scoring position and a 2 ball, no strike count to Ortega. One out runner at second. Beavers trying to manufacture a run here in the bottom of the 7th, down by 1. Swing and a miss at a high fastball to Ortega, makes it 2-1.
And you mentioned only the 7th stolen base for the Beavers throughout the entire season, so not accustomed to manufacturing runs. Rather, they like to wait for the big fly from the likes of Wilson or Miles Williams.
Martinez takes his lead. Ortega hits a fly ball into shallow right field. Stewart backpedaling and makes the grab in front of Booth, the right fielder. And Ortega pops up to second, 2 away. And now back to the top of the order and Dave Pepe. He struck out twice, but led off the ball game on the 3rd pitch of the game with a line drive home run to right. 2 outs with a runner at second. 5-4 Diamond Hoppers in front. Bottom of the 7th.
We just saw Martinez's speed, so a base hit will probably score him, especially with 2 outs here. Martinez is the tying run.
Off the plate away, 1 ball, no strikes. One 0 offering, fouled off the net. Back behind the plate, 1-1. Beavers jumped out to a 4-0 lead with 3 in the first and 1 in the second. But Eastside came back with 2 in the fourth and took the lead with 3 in the fifth. 1-1 offering to Pepe. Lined hard but foul left side. And it's 1-2.
And even with Pepe's home run today, the right fielder Tyler Booth still playing very shallow in
Wow.
right field. I mean, that
No respect right there.
that just taunts Pepe to drive it over his head again.
Here comes the 1-2 offering. Breaking ball. Got him looking. Good breaking ball there from Jalen Miller. Strikes out Dave Pepe for the 3rd time in this game. Through 7 complete from Jimmy John's Field. Score is still the same, 5-4. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers with the lead.
heat. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick, chicky, boom, chick, chicky, boom. Yes, sir, I'm Cuban Pete. I'm the crack, I'm on it straight. When I drop the hammer, they go chick, chicky, boom, chick, chicky, boom. The señorita said, sing and a swing with a pedal. It's very nice. So full of spice.
A little delay there, and certainly worthwhile to see the magical antics of quick change. But it's a little longer to warm up for Andrew Nelson as he returns to the mound, and Dalton Natale will face him. About 10 minutes to show the finale there of the entertainment act, the featured act for tonight. As Dalton Natale swings and misses at a high fastball. No balls, 1 strike. I think that's one of the things about Jimmy John's Field is it's sometimes hard to tell which is the featured act. As this pitch is low for a ball, 1-1. On a particular night, the featured act could be the baseball game. It could be the fireworks. It could be quick change. It could be a concert. Swing and a miss at a high fastball again, 1-2.
I'm baffled how she gets dressed so quickly. We were talking during the delay. Every time I looked over at you, Brad, I must have had a very confused look on my face because I'm still stunned.
Yeah, the 1-2, good breaking ball, backdoored him, called strike 3. And the weight does not appear to phase Andrew Nelson. I'm probably a bad guy to ask that because whenever I see a magic act, I think I'm always the last one to get how he or she did it. I remember going, I guess it was about a year ago, to Vegas, swing and a miss to Joe Fiorino, 0-1. Saw a guy named Mac King do magic. He's I think the only guy that does day shows in Vegas. This one's outside for a ball to Fiorino, 1-1. And, you know, he's got 6 or 7 tricks in the bag, and I don't know how he did any of them. That one's low, 2-1. And I have no idea how she changes her clothes that quickly on the field, but
I'm sure it's something I'm missing. I guess we all miss it.
Deep drive center field sends Pepe back, but he's got a beat on it. With his heels on the warning track, squeezes it for out number 2. Yeah, something's definitely missing. But they've got it. And even though she's the one that changes frequently, if you were watching the finale there, at one point he changed from what appeared to be a full suit into one of the team's uniforms. I think it was a Beavers uni. High and into Jamie McMillan. 2 outs, base is empty. Resuming action here in the top half of the 8th inning. Inside and low to McMillan. 2 balls, no strikes. 5-4, Diamond Hoppers with the lead, looking to add to that here in the 8th. 2-0. Low and in, 3 balls and no strikes.
Every time McMillan comes up, I like to mention how patient of a hitter he is, and the antithesis of Miles Williams, who is so aggressive. And there's a nice patient 4-pitch walk for McMillan.
Already 3rd of the game for McMillan in a game that has featured a lot of walks for the Diamond Hoppers hitters.
He came into this one with an on-base percentage near 400. It's well over 400 now. He's reached 3 out of 4 times via the walk, and sometimes a walk is as good of a hit, as good as a hit, I should say.
And that's 13 walks now for McMillan. There's a high, deep foul drive by Stewart. Got way out in front of it, 0-1.
That leads the team. And one guy who he's very similar to, we said many of the same things about, is Tom Nagy, who has been dropped by the Diamond Hoppers. The difference between McMillan and Nagy is McMillan still hits 300. He'll give you a clutch double or a solid base hit 30% of the time.
Strike 2 called. It's now 0-2 to Stewart. And that one's low and away. Blocked back there by the new catcher, Ray Ortega, who does take over behind the plate, as we expected. One, two, catches the outside corner for a called strike 3. Nelson gets the call, even though the ball popped out of the mitt of Ortega. No runs, no hits, and a runner left on base. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Still Eastside 5 and Birmingham Bloomfield 4.
Jalen Miller came in and did his job in the 7th, and he will give way to Drew Bravo, the long man slash spot starter for Paul Nochi. 9th appearance, 1 start, 21 2/3 innings, only 8 earned runs for a .332 earned run average, 19 strikeouts, and only 4 walks. Pounds the zone and gets ahead of hitters, and that's where he becomes very effective. He will come in the bottom of the 8th inning to face 2, 3, 4, Kennan, Wilson, and Bell in a pivotal part of this game. It's a 1-run game, has been since the 5th inning. Final line for Jalen Miller, 2/3 of an inning, a walk and a strikeout.
First pitch on the way to Dan Kennan is low and away, 1 ball, no strikes. As you can tell watching our video feed, Bravo with a kind of a drop and drive delivery. There's certainly deception in his motion with his arms starting way above his head. And then quickly dropping his body and then driving towards the plate. Check swing didn't offer at it. Moves the count to 2 balls, no strikes.
Basically tucks his leg and upper body into itself before breaking his arms and legs to deliver the pitch.
2-0, bouncing ball to the left side. Castro fields the short hop, throws across. And 1 retired here in the bottom half of the 8th.
Now batting the first baseman, number 6, Nick Wilson.
Nick Wilson, the batter, he slugged his league best 9th home run of the year back in the first. Bullet line drive. That got out of here in a hurry. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. 4 players from the USPBL have been signed to affiliated contracts, and you got to believe Wilson is going to get an opportunity to play affiliated ball again with the start he has had to this season.
You would hope so. The one question mark about him is that he does strike out a lot. He's struck out 17 times in 63 at-bats and has a strikeout today to make 18.
But the thing you like about him is that he's been patient, too. He walks a lot. He's got that combination.
And as of late, he has not relied entirely on the long ball to get his average up. We've seen him take breaking balls the opposite way and get base hits, and he's totally content doing that.
Yeah. 2-1 the count to Wilson.
He for sure has the power. I think that's no doubt about that.
Foul tipped, and it's 2-2. You know, and I don't subscribe fully to the theory that a strike is the same as, or a strikeout's the same as any out. Because you put the ball in play, sometimes things happen. You can reach on an error. You can do things that help your team, even if they don't statistically help your team. You know, the perfect example is nobody out runner at second, ground ball to the right side. It's an 0 for 1, but it's a successful 0 for 1. That being said, first the 2-2 to Wilson. Ground ball to shortstop. Another easy chance for Castro. Lets up on the throw a little bit, but still gets Wilson with ease. His numbers are pretty ridiculous here, and we're deep enough in the season that we have a large enough sample size that, okay, the strikeout numbers are high, but he's getting on base coming in at a 500 on base percentage. So I'll take the strikeouts if you're going to give me 381 average, 794 slugging, 500 on base.
And that's not to say he's going to have an unproductive career. We've seen a bunch of guys in the major leagues hit 40 home runs, but they're going to strike out 200 times. Mark Reynolds comes to mind. Adam Dunn did it for 14, 15 years.
The knock on Dunn was the strikeouts. He didn't put the ball in play very often. 0-1 to Bell is outside, 1-1.
But when he did it, it reached the seats.
Right. He was actually, I mean, he was the king of never really putting the ball in play because it either was a homer, a walk, or a strikeout.
Yeah, his average would sit in the 210s, 220s.
1-1 to Bell is outside. Now, Wilson's hitting 381. If he signs a pro affiliated contract, he's going to have to continue to make adjustments because as he goes up and moves up through somebody's organization, the pitching's going to get that much better. And he's going to have to continue to make adjustments to be able to put up good numbers. There's a strike on the outside corner.
What we've seen is that pitchers are going to the breaking ball earlier and earlier into the Nick Wilson at-bats, and he's been able to make the adjustments, so it's obvious he's willing to learn and willing to change some things in order to continue his success.
2-2 to Bell. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 1-2-3 frame for Drew Bravo. Retiring in order the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Beavers. In fact, the Beavers 1, 2, 3, 4 lethal punch is 0 for 11 with a hit batsman in their last 12 plate appearances. We go to the 9th inning. Your score, 5-4 Diamond Hoppers.
New pitcher for the Beavers here in the top of the 9th inning is number 5, Eric Kimber, who on the year has only allowed 2 earned runs in 11 innings of work and has struck out, get this, 20 batters in just those 11 innings. That's 16 and a half per 9. He uses a 93 or 94 mile an hour fastball to get ahead of the hitters and then finishes them off with a dirty curveball, and will be facing 9-1-2 in the Diamond Hoppers order, and will look to keep this a 1-run game. Andrew Nelson went 3 scoreless innings, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Castro takes a look at one high from Kimber, 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, really good long relief work from Andrew Nelson. 3 hitless, scoreless innings. Low and in, almost got Castro. He says it did. Home plate umpire said it didn't.
And I'm going to agree with the home plate umpire there, because Castro did not flinch at all. Usually,
Paul Noce wants to ask the base umpire if he saw anything. It's going to be a tough look there from his angle. He's 110 feet away. He was behind first base. I don't think he's going to see anything that would confirm. And it will be ruled a ball, no hit batsman, and it's 2-0.
Well, Castro didn't flinch at all. So even if it did hit him, it grazed him. But I'm going to agree with the umpire's call on this one.
2 balls, no strikes to Castro, looking to lead it off with and get on base here against Kimber. Shows bunt, pulls back. That's right down the middle. Diamond Hoppers lead by 1, but would love some insurance runs going into the bottom of the 9th. 2 ball, 1 strike count, and now a new set of signs for Eric Kimber.
Worth in on the grass at third base.
All the way to the backstop, kind of short arm that one, 3-1. Kimber came up through the Kansas City Royals system, but never made it out of rookie ball. In fact, played in just the Gulf Coast League, the lowest level. Line drive, fair down the right field line. That's at least 2 towards the corner. Williams comes up with it. Castro's digging for third, and he's going to make it there without a throw. A belly flop into third with a leadoff triple for Ricky Castro. This guy doesn't play a whole lot, but is showing manager Paul Noce something here with a productive day. He's been on base 3 times. That's his first hit.
And the thing I liked about that is Castro knew immediately when he hit that ball, based on where Williams was playing, the ball shot into the corner and rattled around for a little bit. Castro knew he was going 3 right off the bat. Infield in now.
Kimber sets and fires. Pitch is high to Luke Ortel, the left fielder, who is hitless, 0 for 4. Diamond Hoppers lead top half of the 9th inning by a 5-4 score, looking to add to it. Nobody out, runner at third. Pitch from Kimber, bouncing ball foul down the first base line. One ball, 1 strike, set by Eric Kimber. Fires away, bouncing ball, almost same spot, foul first base line between first baseman and first base coach. 1-2. Kimber sets and fires the 1-2. Fly ball, right center field. Williams back, and it's past him to the wall in right center field. Ortel into second. He will stop there with an RBI double and a big insurance run for Eastside. Diamond Hoppers now lead it 6-4.
I thought Ortel might have gone 3 there, to be honest. Williams with a throw that missed the cutoff man, Kennan, and with Ortel's long strides, I really thought that he would try for 3, but The old saying goes, you never really want to make the first out at third base, especially in the ninth inning when it's a close game.
Second extra base hit of the year for Ortel. Now Ryan Willard has been on base all 4 times. Thought that one was away. It's called a strike. Willard, a product of NC State. The Wolfpack. Check swing, ground ball back past the mound. Kennan sliding over towards second base. Makes a nice play, kind of shuffling his feet near the bag and throwing on to first. Ortel takes third. So a productive out for Willard, advancing Ortel to third with 1 out for the catcher Corey Caswell.
And there's one of those outs that you can tolerate. We were just talking about it in the bottom half of the 8th. Infield again in.
That one is low, and a good block behind the plate by Ortel. 1 ball, no strikes. Caswell has grounded twice into double plays. He's been hit by a pitch. He has singled. He has scored twice. Righty on righty. Line drive, right field sends Williams back towards the line, makes the catch, slips and falls in foul territory. Runner scores easily, and Williams slow to get up over there in right field. He never would have had a shot at throwing out Ortel at the plate, but as he made that catch, he struggled to plant and kind of water skied. That's how I would describe it. But it was more like me water skiing because he didn't stay up. And now 2 outs. Looks like Williams is okay. Kind of shakes it off.
Never would have thought coming into this one we'd be talking about water skiing. But I think once Williams fell and he knew Ortel had good speed, he just stayed down and took the extra few seconds to regroup, and probably just one of those stingers out there on the rear of Miles Williams.
First pitch of ball to Tyler Booth. Next one is low. 2 balls, no strikes. The sac fly gives the Diamond Hoppers a 7-4 lead, so much better situation now for Eastside to hand a 3-run lead over as opposed to a 1-run lead. That one's fouled back by Booth, making it 2-1. And I assume that they will turn it over. Drew Bravo did pitch a very effective 8th inning, but there is bullpen action for Eastside, leading me to believe that they will bring on a different pitcher to record the save. Lowe makes it 3-1. 2 outs, bases clear. And Eastside leading it by 3. They have scored 7 unanswered after the 4 runs scored in the first 2 by the Beavers. Comebacker past the mound. Second baseman Kinnan fires onto first in time for out number 3. But a couple runs across the board in the top half of the 9th inning gives Eastside a 7-4 lead into the bottom half of the 9th inning.
it looks like Paul Nochi will go to Santana, one of the newcomers for Nochi and his staff today for the save. It is a save situation at 7-4, and Santana on the year has pitched only once. He will relieve Drew Bravo, who had a clean 8th inning, and Santana will face Williams, Worth, and Phyllis.
First pitch called strike. 3-run lead to protect here. This is a save situation for Santana. Out of West Virginia Tech, Williams fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Smetana. Santana, 6'2", 205-pounder. Trying to save it for Andrew Bynum, who's in line for the win. Breaking ball, slow one, swing and a miss by Williams. And a strikeout for Santana.
Wow, that was a nasty curveball. Started on the hands of Williams, and the bottom just dropped out of it.
How about this bullpen effort today for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers? It was a bullpen day. They started their usual closer, and of the 6 who have pitched, he was the only one that you could really describe as not being particularly effective. Kevin Worth takes high, 1 ball, no strikes. But his offense bailed him out. He departed with a 4-0 deficit. And his offense bailed him out with 7 unanswered, and 5 relievers have combined for 5 1/3 shutout innings. 1-0 to Worth. Check swing on a pitch that was high. He didn't go. It's 2-0.
And in those 5 1/3 innings, only 1 hit.
Yeah.
2 walks and a hit. That's it. Against a Beavers team that came in to this one hitting almost 300 at 294.
Foul tipped back by Worth. And the bullpen combined to hold the 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters in the Beavers order. The most dangerous grouping at 0 for 8. 2-1 pitch to Worth. Foul tip. That got a piece of Caswell behind the plate. 2-2 the count. Bynum an inning. 1 hit, no runs. Jeff Connolly, 2 1/3 hitless, scoreless. Jalen Miller, 2/3 hitless, scoreless. Drew Bravo, an inning, hitless and scoreless.
There seems to be a theme.
Santana, 1/3 of an inning, hitless, scoreless. The 2-2. Slow curveball. He tried that same pitch that he struck Williams out on, but he missed up and in.
Slipped out of his hand a little bit, it looked like.
It's a traditional overhand curveball, 12-6. And a lot of downward bite. 3-2. Fastball hit back up the middle, and it scoots into center field for a base hit. First hit for Kevin Worth. And the Beavers with a sign of life there. They move the tying run to the on-deck circle.
First hit for the Beavers since the 4th inning. And it was from the guy who's up right now, Eric Phillips.
2 for 3 today, double, single, run scored. Each team with 6 hits in this game. A lot of walks by the Beavers staff. That one hit foul. Phyllis in the batter's box. And And it's a strike, 0-1. It was a late call by the home plate umpire, but it appeared to be the right one. It looked like that ball off the bat did get Phyllis in the box. 0-1. Eastside played it out as if it was a fair ball. Paul Noce comes out of the dugout real quickly. He tells McMillan at first, play behind the runner. We don't care if he goes. 0-1. Ground ball softly to the right side. Stewart goes to second, and in time there to Castro, the shortstop. They get the force on the leading runner. Phyllis is now the runner at first with 2 outs.
DJ Martinez.
And it's up to DJ Martinez to keep the Beavers alive in this one. Diamond Hoppers lead by 3, 2 outs, bottom half of the 9th inning. DJ Martinez 0 for 1, but he has walked twice. Again, Diamond Hoppers play behind the runner Phyllis, and a first pitch fastball is on the outside corner. Martinez thought that might have been outside or might have even been a little too high to be called a strike. Looked a tad flummoxed after the call. Here comes the 0-1. Inside, missed the corner, 1-1. Set the 1-1. Inside and high, 2-1 to the Beavers shortstop. Despite down by 3, the Beavers are a base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate. Santana sets in the 2-1. Foul tip that, knocked the mask off the catcher, Caswell. Knocked it sideways, and he will slowly walk out in front and retrieve the baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Martinez. The Diamond Hoppers are a strike away from improving to above 500. The set. The 2-2 delivery, plate word, overhand curveball, down the middle but low. It's full, 3-2. Phyllis will run on a 3-2 pitch. Here it comes, there he goes. Pitch is high, ball 4. DJ Martinez draws the walk. And the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers bring the tying run to the plate. Ray Ortega, who pinch hit back in the 7th in this 9th spot in the order, popped up to 2nd. There is no bullpen action for the Diamond Hoppers, but Paul Noce, the manager, is going to go out to the mound and talk about how they are going to approach the catcher, Ortega.
Ortega 0 for 1 today, and if he can get something into the gap, it could probably score Martinez with his speed, but at that point, it really doesn't matter.
No need to take a risk with him. It's Ortega's run that matters.
And I think the Beavers are probably going to need back-to-back hits here because Ortega doesn't have a home run today. Pepe just hit his first of the year in the 1st inning, so not a lot of power in the on-deck circle or up the bat right now.
0-1 the count to Ortega. Here's the stretch by Santana in the pitch. Fouled it back, and again, the Diamond Hoppers are a strike away from victory. Nothing in 2 away. Phyllis at 2nd, Martinez at 1st. Diamond Hoppers by 3. The 0-2 home, overhand curveball, line drives to left. Ortel comes on. makes the catch, and that's the ball game. Trailing 4-0, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers scores 7 unanswered, and they defeat the Beavers 7-4. Eastside now 10-9 on the year, and the Beavers drop to 12-7. 7-4 the final score as the Diamond Hoppers come away with the victory. We'll be back with the totals after this. Back here at Jimmy John's Field, it's the Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming away with the victory, 7-4 in comeback style. Beavers scored 4 unanswered to begin the ball game, with 3 in the first and 1 in the second. And for much of the early part of this ball game, it was looking like Birmingham Bloomfield was in control. The Beavers scored 3 in the first on a solo home run by Dave Pepe, followed by a 2-run home run by Nick Wilson. And then they manufactured a run in the second after a leadoff double by Eric Phillips and a sac fly by R.J. Devish. They led 4-0 at that point, but then scored twice in the fourth inning and 3 times in the fifth to take the lead. They added 2 insurance runs in the ninth inning and come away with a 7-4 victory. Diamond Hoppers 7 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 6 left on base. Beavers with 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 5 left on base. Andrew Bynum wins his first of the year, 1-0. Houghton Buchanan loses his first, 1-1. And Josh Smetana with the save, his first of the year. Home runs, Dave Pepe his first of the year, and Nick Wilson his league best, 9th of the year. Kevin, to me, when you look back at the story of this ball game, to me it was the ability of the Eastside pitching staff in a bullpen start, and 6 guys pitched that are traditional bullpen guys. The guy that served in the role of a starting pitcher wasn't too good, but the 5 true relievers for the Diamond Hoppers Bynum, Connolly, Miller, Bravo, and Santana were outstanding with those 6 scoreless innings of relief for the Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah, they only allowed 2 hits, but the number that I'm more concerned with is they only walked 3 guys. And sometimes we see the bullpens walk a lot of batters in the USPBL, but they really hit the zone, did not lose command, and that's what ultimately limited the Beavers to just 4 runs and 2 hits after the 3rd inning, because they weren't walking a couple and then waiting for a big hit. The big hit came only twice, but no one was on base to score. So that was the key for me.
And meanwhile, you look at the pitching staff for the Beavers in this game, and they struggled with their command, and the Diamond Hoppers took advantage. They scored 7 runs by only getting 6 hits, but they walked 9 times, and there was a hit batsman in there. So it's 10 free passes for the Beavers pitching staff. Kumis with 4 walks, but he took the no decision. Buchanan, 2 walks in an inning, 3 in 3 innings for Nelson, even though he was effective with no runs allowed and no hits. And Kemper gave up 2 runs in the 9th inning when he was hit around a little bit with a couple of extra base hits that he allowed. But, the pitching was not particularly effective for the Beavers, despite the fact they jumped out to that early 4-0 lead.
Yeah, Kumis struggled in just the 1 inning, but you said it, Brad, 8 walks. They actually walked more batters than they struck out today. So a day where some of the better arms, you think about 2 reliable arms in Houghton Buchanan and Eric Kimber, combined to go 2 innings and gave up 5 of the 7 runs. So a day that the bullpen would like to move past quickly and quickly put it in their back of their minds as they're back in action in just about 14 hours.
Yeah, and a day in which the Diamond Hoppers would certainly like to remember as far as the bullpen is concerned, and a game where I think Eastside was just kind of trying to survive on their 4th consecutive day and not really having a true starting pitcher available, and throwing 6 relievers you don't necessarily expect to win, and they did, and got to above 500 with a 10-9 record. Beavers dropped to 12-7 on the season. You mentioned you did the quick math better than I did. 14 hours or so from now. Is that true? 2 p.m.?
13 and a half. Yeah, 2 p.m. start tomorrow. I believe it's
go.
the Beavers playing host to the Unicorns.
There you go. Be here or be square. It's the Fan Home Run Derby, so the festivities really begin more like 10 and a half hours from now.
It's going to be a 3-hour home run derby where the fans will try to clear the fences and win some free merchandise here at Jimmy John's Field. It should be a fun thing. It's sold out. There's more than 50 participants who get 10 pitches each from a batting machine. So should be interesting to see if we have any future Nick Wilsons in the ballpark tomorrow morning.
The Fan Home Run Derby, for those who have signed up, begins at 10 a.m. And I don't really need to say how much it costs, because if it's sold out, you can't buy tickets anyhow. The Fan Home Run Derby starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And if you go back, gone, you qualify for a T-shirt, and you get an entry into the drawing. And one lucky fan that hits a home run during the Fan Home Run Derby will have their entry drawn for a chance to get 2 Front Row Club season tickets. Those are primo season tickets right there behind home plate.
Well, the key is to hit a home run first. So 1 foot in front of the other. We'll see if it can be done tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
10 a.m. starts the Home Run Derby, and then 2 p.m. starts the game between the Beavers and the Unicorns. 2 o'clock game time. The Derby is sold out, but the game is not. So get your tickets today to see the Beavers and Unicorns do battle on a Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. here at Jimmy John's Field. So a good one. A nice win today for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They are 10-9 on the year with a 7-4 victory over the now 12-7 Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. 7-4 Diamond Hoppers, your final score. For my partner, Kevin Klein, I'm Brad Golder, reporting live from Jimmy John's Field. Thanks for joining us. Good night.